What's going on, Chuckle Nuts? My name is Rubio. You might have heard the saying, not all heroes wear capes, and that is especially true with this one individual we're going to be talking about. Just when 2020 needed him most, he vanished and dropped his two mediocre songs. But with the release of Utopia this year, you know the man himself, Cactus Jack, Travis Scott, is going to be blessing us with some mumble rap scriptures. But if you're too much of a little weasel to wait for him to drop his album, that's where I come in, where today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a Travis Scott song in FL Studio, like the Chad you are. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to feed my family of 12 cats, and especially hit the bell. You don't want to miss this. I know you think you do, but you fucking don't. But anyway, let's get right into this. Everybody knows Travis Scott has different styles of music he makes, whether it's his rager music, stoner music, just trying to ascend to it. Like, he's got a lot. For the purposes of this video, though, I'm going to be making a bit more of the wavy, like ascending music he makes, similar to Highest in the Room. So the first thing you're going to do, obviously, you're going to open up FL, and you're going to start with your drums. So you're going to start off with the kick. Then you're going to come in with the hats, with those nice just triplet hats. And then get another crunchy clap, it's in every song. And then, just for a little effect, add like the open hat and the chants just to give your percussion a bit more flavor, just so you don't sound bland. And obviously end off with your 808s, which for a lot of Travis Scott songs are just really hard hitting in your face. For the purposes of variety, I also added a counter snare melody, just to give it a bit more variety in like the second part of the verse or something similar to that. Once you're done with that, it's time to focus on the melody. And what I use for the most part for these kind of melodies is I use a plugin called Purity. Don't worry, it's free, and you could replace it with something like Sakura, which is like a standard plugin on FL, but I like Purity for its variety of different sounds. If you want to have like a guitar melody, you can play with that stuff. If you want to have a more like a pad or a keyboard, it's also there. Like, there's a lot of variety. So right now I'm just gonna make a quick melody. Ultimately, though, you can't just finish it off like that. You do not want to leave it raw. If Travis Scott is known for anything, it's for his psychedelic music. So that's why with that, you're probably gonna have to add like a flanger, add maybe especially reverb and maybe a bit of delay, just to give it a atmospheric vibe. And once you're done with all that, this is how the beat sounds. Know the vibes. I feel like Tom. I feel like Jared. Who's the cat again? I feel like Tom in that episode where he's ascending into heaven. Once you're done with that, though, it's time for you to focus on the vocals, which is a very iconic part of Travis Scott's sound. You can't have a Travis Scott sound without his robotic ass voice and the it's lit ad-lib. So I'm just gonna run down like the essentials. These are some plugins that you just want to have in general. If you want to have crispy vocals, I have a video going a bit more in detail about that. You can click the card right now. But you gotta start off with your compression on Fruity Limiter. You gotta start with your Maximus, your de-esser, then your Fruity Limiter, just a standard limiter. Then you gotta have some Soundgoodizer. Everybody needs Soundgoodizer in their life. It's optional if you want a stereo enhancer or not. I personally ended up not using it. And then for the big boy stuff, what really makes Travis Scott sound like Travis Scott, you gotta have a bit of delay. Add these settings. These are what, in my opinion, sound the best. Have your reverb, just making you sound like you basically own the city. And then you got probably the most important part of any Travis Scott song, the auto-tune. Now, if there's anything Travis Scott is known for, it's for sounding like a complete robot, which it's not like a nav robot or it just sounds like ass, but in this case it sounds good matched with the production. So you're just gonna crank the retune speed all the way to 0. There's no waiting on that shit. Then you got to remove all the humanizer, obviously put it in the scale your song is in, and see for yourself just how angelic you sound. Yeah, it's lit. That is the coolest fucking thing. Right now, you just sound like your typical auto-tune. yeah, you know, like that guy. But then you elevate when you hit this, and you're just, whoa. I don't know. Now for probably the more important part of your vocals, the ad-libs. Just like Playboy Cardi, these are essential to get white boys screaming their lungs out in the concert. So what you gotta do, you really only need 2 plugins for this. You need, first of all, your auto-tune, have the same type of auto-tune as in the main vocals, and then just drench yourself in reverb. You know, crank that wet all the way to 90, 100, get the room size pretty high, you know, just make it sound as distant and as wet as possible. Okay. Money is huge! Money is big! Money is huge! Money is huge! Money is huge! Once you're done with that, it's time to focus on the lyrics, right? And luckily for you, Travis Scott isn't exactly the most reliant on lyrics. Just get some lyrics, something you'd be like screaming your lungs out at a concert, right? Like, you know, just nothing too crazy, just something that'll get the 5-year-old Fortnite kids wild. But once you're done with that, it's time to put it all in a blender, shake it like crazy, and this is what you get. This is the final result. Yeah. Hey, jump for the world, get 100 wild. Pump fake the bitch, I hit it in a while. You think you mad cause I restate? Yeah, what you talking about? My east got like Austin. I ain't running back, get you home like Ryan Johnson. I been holding on, feel like Kobe, feel like Johnson. If you went tough, that's a Maybach. Take the Maybach, take it in a robber. Niggas mad cause I hate. Get it mad cause I skip. Roll back, are you? I can't tell if this is the greatest thing I've ever made or the shittiest. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've heard, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe while hitting the bell. If you have any recommendations of what other artists I should talk about, make sure to comment that. Your feedback is the most important to me. But thank you so much. This was Álvaro Rubio, and peace. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell.